IShowSpeed's China tour is going viral for unforgettable moments. Over the weekend, he also performed that backflip there on the Great Wall of China, impressing fans and Chinese media.
Faced severe backlash when he served as Speed's translator in Beijing. He told Speed his fans were screaming like animals and was accused of deliberately mistranslating to embarrass Speed. Sorry, weird guy was aggressive, annoying, intrusive, like a spoiled brat, even threatening uncle on camera. Wrapped up his huge streaming in China adventure, and if you think they just made a big splash over here, you got another thing coming. What if I told you what you think you know about his China tour is just the tip of the iceberg? His trip was filled with drama that only Chinese people could see. So today I want to reveal the raw, unfiltered Chinese internet's reaction that most Western audiences never witnessed. Behind the scenes moments like Speed being nicknamed Hyperthyroid Bro, the ill-intended shit-stirring interpreter, the disappointing last stop, and what happened to Uncle after Speed left. All of this sparked intense controversies on Chinese social media, so let's dive into it.
Man, that guy been there for a long time. I think he's still there, fam. If my memory serves me right.
I really think
One thing I gotta say though, IShowSpeed always does side quests all the time, but I gotta respect it, man, because the guy's trying to, venture and expand his brand. So
for Speed and for every single one of you.
But before we get to all the big drama and the general public's response, let's talk about some official Chinese media outlets because they embraced Speed's visit. It was celebrated. I'm talking unprecedented levels of attention for a young foreign influencer, okay? A lot of people were surprised by the apparent lack of official monitoring during Speed's shenanigans. But, of course, the government knew exactly what official monitoring during Speed's shenanigans. But, of course, the government knew exactly what was happening. The Foreign Affairs Ministry officially commented, well stated.
Imagine being so big, even the president, the politician of a country know about you and they're talking about you. Nah, man.
Media CCTV featured extensive coverage. China is becoming increasingly confident to show both the good and the bad without too many filters to some extent. Yes, some areas of the country remain much more restrictive. Had he gone to certain places within Xinjiang or Tibet, it would have looked very different. But yeah, newsflash, you can indeed freely visit China. There are no fake tours like in North Korea with people following you every step if you're a normal tourist. That's why they have just recently opened visa-free visits to so many countries.
Under a German passport, visa-free. It's the best.
Over 20 million.
I have a German passport. I didn't know it's visa free for me to go to China. At least Beijing.
Foreigners entered China, up more than 112% year on year.
They want ordinary people to see the real China, breaking down some of the caricatures that have shaped people's impression for decades. It's free publicity, and Speed delivered that brilliantly. Now, what was
It's apple juice, by the way, for those who are wondering. It's apple juice.
the general reaction to his trip? For those who watched from China, it was overwhelmingly positive. His journey showcased lots of China's bright side and significantly boosted the country's international image, making Chinese citizens very proud. I know there are tons of people who seriously underestimate how big of a deal this was. Love him or hate him, you can't just say, oh, big deal, some dude running around the China like a madman, who cares? You're wrong. China cares. They care a lot. Getting unfiltered China in front of millions of young Westerners is a huge win for them.
Definitely. I bet that trip that IShowSpeed made to China is now going to encourage a lot of Americans and non-Americans in general, especially like the young ones, because a lot of young people follow IShowSpeed. Going to encourage them to visit China, which is going to boost, their travel industry, essentially. And it's going to expose, their culture. You're going to research more about them, to find more about the culture, food, whatnot. So it's definitely good publicity for China, and free as well. It's not like, as far as I know, it's not like they, asked IShowSpeed to pull up, and you just went.
我在难闻的纽约地铁里刷不出文字，你却在中国时速350千米的高铁上 2K 直播不掉线。
No amount of marketing dollars could replace this. Even in our neck of the woods, the media covered it overall pretty positively.
Speed's China tour is going viral for unforgettable moments. Over the weekend, he also performed that backflip there on the Great Wall of China, impressing fans and Chinese media.
Perhaps, maybe, hopefully, the day has come when people think of China, they will finally not just think of, Beijing leadership or military parades, but faces of real Chinese people like Uncle, Master Liang, or the Shaoxing girl who sounds like Pikachu. The outpouring of gratitude wasn't just because Speed portrayed China positively, but due to his genuine personality and respectful approach.
Honestly,
He's a nice guy.
seeing an American connect with Chinese people like this, it gave me so much hope, especially with how crazy the world is right now.
No, he was trying to say how crazy America is. Because imagine, America's known for being so crazy, and then an American well-known streamer visits your country, who's essentially always, act crazy on the stream. Suddenly is very polite, respectful. Because I remember I saw a clip where someone called IShowSpeed by the N-word, and the guy didn't even react. Like, he's like, what did he say to me? Like, he didn't, trying to chase after him, trying to beat him up, didn't cause any drama. So, I got respect. Like, IShowSpeed has a lot of respect. Like, when he's, in different places, if that makes sense. So he actually behaves himself as crazy as he might be. That's why I
Talked
really
about
like him.
that a little bit already when I covered his trip to Shaolin. But to be honest, this connection he has to the locals isn't just unique to China. Wherever he travels, he transforms encounters into wholesome moments that bridge cultures. No other way to put it. So, the positive reaction was expected and aligned with what the CCP wants. But is there another side to the story? Despite his massive views, Speed isn't actually well known in China at all. At least he wasn't until now. His followers represent just a tiny fraction of China's vast online culture. There's no YouTube, no Google, no Facebook, no X. So many other sites, they don't exist in China. They're not accessible. They got their own stuff going on anyways. They got Weibo, Kuaishou, Douyin, Bilibili, whatever. And before you say it, no, VPNs are not officially allowed, and using them can result in a fine or even in jail.
If you're coming to China, you gotta make sure you can't access all the internet that you want. So make sure you have a VPN ready.
A lot of Chinese people do use it. I bet there are a bunch of Chinese people watching right now using it, huh? Touch you, huh? Or subscribe before I snitch. But you're probably gonna be okay if you keep it low-key and to yourself. But being so openly pro-internationalism inside the Chinese internet, that can be problematic for Chinese citizens who might be labeled as pretentious or traitors. The phrase 崇洋媚外, worshipping foreign things, captures this sentiment, often accompanied with a, if you love the West so much, go live there. Oh, you don't like this particular thing about our country? Why don't you leave? You will find similar stupidity in most.
I hate the same thing in the UK as well. Whenever I point something negative out, if you don't like it in the UK, why don't you just leave? I'm like, bruh, I'm just saying. It's not that deep. I don't have to just leave the country.
So our first big L in the chat was the center of Chinese people's wrath right from the start. Miles Moretti. Antonio Marga.
Why does his name sound Italian when he's Chinese?
This Chinese-American Vietnamese influencer known for promoting
Chinese American Vietnamese. So it's no real Chinese then.
Culture through his floral outfits and street interviews, faced severe backlash when he served as Speed's translator in Beijing. He told Speed his fans were screaming like animals and was accused of deliberately mistranslating to embarrass Speed. Sorry, his locks can be delicate for me to cut. I don't want to ruin it. And how did he translate it? Huh, Miles?
What?
He said your hair is too raggedy, you can't.
Really? He didn't say that.
You devious, two-faced, lying little beautiful man. And his apology.
I gotta add the beautiful sentiment. He's got pause, but yeah, he's good looking still.
They posted on April 1st, explaining his playful and teasing humor actually backfired on him. The damage was done. The Chinese government might leave you alone, but proud Chinese citizens will come for you if you're disrespectful. As a fellow content creator, I totally get your point, your idea of trying to spice up the stream, but dude, making people sound rude to Speed isn't fair to anyone involved.
So he's saying my hair is fucked up, basically.
No, I mean, he's not doing a direct translation. I was doing a direct translation.
That type of stuff doesn't make the streams more fun. It's just weird, and you're baiting for controversy on your own ass. And to be honest, I don't really know Speed. He wasn't on my radar until he went to China. He doesn't need that kind of stuff to make his streams entertaining. Let that be his concern. How about that? Drama number 2. The toilet channel.
What the hell? What the hell was that? I gotta repeat that. Yo. What the?
Until he went to China. He doesn't need that kind of stuff to make his streams entertaining. Let that be his concern. How about that? Drama number 2. God. The toilet channel in Green Goblin. Mango TV. Changsha, the last stop of Speed's visit and intended grand finale, infuriated Chinese netizens more than anything else before. It all started with this restaurant chain owner who came to leech publicity. Amboss. Unlike Uncle's wholesome persistence, this weird guy was aggressive, annoying, intrusive, like a spoiled brat, even threatening Uncle on camera. I'm boss. Move, or I'm gonna show up at your door.
来了一个人，I'm boss，我们都是同行，我们要相互尊重，你给我起来，不然的话，明天我去重庆找你。
That is crazy.
Bruh,
I would have looked at him like, bro, who the hell do you think you're talking to? Move. Nah.
L for a tiny mafia boy. Chinese internet users ruthlessly mocked his appearance as Nanyu Lao Shao, which usually just means everybody. It's kind of a genius word, Chinese word build. It literally means male, female, old, young. And calling him Green Goblin, making AI memes of him. Also, they review bombed his already struggling restaurants. Yikes. Shout out to his family. That's what you get, bro. I think a lot of people genuinely underestimated how many people are watching. Bro, it's unreal. 150,000 people watching live. The scripted event host, Mango TV, also faced severe criticism. This regional broadcaster, nicknamed the Toilet Channel for its logo resembling a toilet seat and shitty content, was criticized for its boring and uninspired show segments that heavily commercialized Speed in a way that's kind of contrary to his authentic persona, limiting and constraining him.
在故意要他对着镜头拿着展示，肉眼可见，只顾自己宣传，也不管他拿着方便不方便。
So what we just talked about is Chinese people criticizing other.
Yeah, that was not smart from like. If you ever have a business, you have an opportunity where you can have one individual to come to your show or to your business in general, you definitely don't, sorry about that. You definitely do not want to limit them. You want them to be themselves and be able to feel comfortable and express themselves like they always do just on the show. I think that in itself will bring more value to you trying to force something onto him / the people that are watching. Because people are not stupid. People are going to be able to tell that, yo, like, what the hell is going on? So you use IShowSpeed to promote your stuff and it's only there for like, I don't know, like a couple of minutes. I'll try to make sure that this guy is the time of his life by letting him do as much as he can possibly do. Man, greed is always a bad thing, man.
These people in his streams. Now we're going to talk about the spicier stuff because there was hate too. Let's just be honest about it. Okay? Among the negative reactions.
There's always hate. With fame, money, progression, success comes always hate. Nobody wakes up in the morning and prays to God or whoever you pray to, like say, oh, I want to be successful, blah, blah, but at the same time get hate. Like, no, nobody does that. But unfortunately, it comes with it. But hey, that's part of being great or trying to be great at least.
I encountered the term 媚黑, flirt with the black.
Speed 在查查 ，Speed 在查，他在查查跟我有鸡毛关系啊？咋这么多媚黑狗呢
A derogatory term made to shame people who praise or associate too much with black people in China. Also used in other capacities that I prefer not to speak about. Maybe you can imagine. But for real, when I live in China,
I got it. I got it. Oh shit. I got it.
Capacities.
Did you guys get it?
I prefer not to speak about. Maybe you can imagine.
Did you get it?
But for real, when I lived in China, I lived alongside a group of African cultural exchange students, and I saw firsthand how they got treated, how Chinese people spoke about them behind their backs. And these were not sad individual instances, it was across the board. And from the stories they told me, there is a lot of racism in China, in particular towards black people. Can't wait for the denial and deflection in the comments. If you live in China and you're honest, you're gonna say true. If you live in China and you don't know anything about the West, you're gonna say, what about your country? I don't want to get into this stuff, but the societal integration and tolerance of black people in China versus the West is not even remotely the same ballpark. If you disagree with this, you are delusional and it means you have...
And I thought Germany was bad where I grew up. Like I always said to myself, like, look, someone else always has it worse. Or somewhere else, it's always worse to the place where you currently are.
And seen both sides. Sorry, facts. Anyways, moving on. This is one of the reasons why I find IShowSpeed's visit so incredibly awesome. For Chinese people too. Exposure breeds tolerance. And seeing a black guy bring this much unprecedented attention and love to them, I think can only be good for race relations. Anyway, Chinese internet has a word for every niche group they deem unfavorable. In this particular case, internet lingos like 串子, 直人, 香蕉人, and 媚黑, all used for people who are deemed to case internet lingos like 串子.
Traitor, colonizer, banana. Wow, banana man, yellow on the outside, but it's white on the inside.
直人, 香蕉人, and 媚黑, all used for people who are deep.
The banana man, in our own term, will be coconut. black outside but white inside. That's what I
praise the outside world too much. And forget about racism against foreigners. Even regional stereotyping within the country is a national pastime. Dude, the Shaolin Temple is in Henan. That province has a bad rap. People from Henan are considered scammers, thieves, liars. But in person, and this has to be said, even the people who dislike foreigners in general will highly likely treat visitors respectfully due to mianzi, face. Don't want to explain the whole thing. In China, saving face, maintaining social image.
Yeah, image, yeah.
The only
everyone usually trying to do that anyways.
real social credit in China. Unless. Online, however, anti-outsider attitudes are more common, with very hateful speech sometimes treated as casual jokes. I'm just very happy that nobody used Speed's massive platform to like jump into his streams and say some really messed up stuff. I'm scared that that will happen eventually, but I'm happy it didn't happen in China. So now the traffic is king side of China. According to a Chinese staff member in Speed's entourage, most plans were made within just 1 day based on Speed's personal interests. This enabled authentic meetups with content creators like Tony from LC Science.
Oh, him.
Love him. And the dude.
That guy's hilarious. Hilarious. Oh, when I used to have social media, Insta, for example, and I saw one of his shorts, bro. That shit killed me.
From the Super Idol song.
因为他刚刚来的时候，他就已经说过，表达过说想见到我。
And Ray Ge, the Donald Trump guy. These were people Speed genuinely wanted to meet. But what about Da Zhangwei, creator of the Nay Nay song? He's at a different level of fame in China and deeply entangled with Mango TV. Too much risk when interacting with Speed. You can see him playing it very safe, avoiding singing the nay nay part during his performance, showing respect and understanding of the context of the meme. Speed even noticed this and repeatedly told him to say it, bro, say it, say it. He tried his best during the corporate feast, toasting with officials and business executives. A cringe but authentic part of Chinese culture when you're famous, by the way. Da Zhangwei also tried to smooth over the moment when Speed asked for Uncle, who was running after their cars on foot.
Oh, you left? He's tired.
Oh,
Nah.
you never tired.
No, I don't get tired.
He did what he could as a nice guy who cared about Speed, but it just wasn't as natural as interactions with less famous, less corporate aligned influencers. Like why? Why even bother to surround Speed with so many stars that he doesn't know or should care about? While corporate partnerships aren't inherently wrong, this does highlight how traditional Chinese media is increasingly disconnected from younger audiences, chasing views without understanding how to build genuine connections. Traffic is king.
That's like our politicians. They think they know, understand their people, but they don't. They don't.
Liang Wei Wang is the mantra for companies and individuals in China. That's the golden ticket to fame and wealth. So what about Uncle? After the streams, his Rongshang braised duck became famous. But at what cost?
你挂着假冒伪劣的裸，你对着江哥的牌子在这里播，那还我授权你们卖的吗？对不对？不是这样子吧？所以我希望大家。
This is the local governor backing him up, promising to punish those who try to steal his brand name. Yeah, in China, people will do anything for views. It's not unique to China. It's anywhere, basically. Content creation can be extremely lucrative.
Crazy.
So I hope this video clears some things up. No, Chinese people do not feel exploited by these streams. In general, the response is overwhelmingly positive.
That's good,
and
man.
They loved it. And I legit think this has a positive impact for the
Yeah,
future.
definitely.
Anyways, that's about it. See ya.
Nah, man, I was happy, man. Now, when I saw IShowSpeed going to China, I was like, damn, like this guy doing side quests in the most bizarre places. I mean, especially with the situation that was going on with China and America. But hey, nah, that's good, man. At least, you know, it was a very organic thing that IShowSpeed did. And like, I liked it, man. Shout out to Ratoni.